Hey guys and gals of YouTube world, it is Monday, September the 27th, the year 2021. Let's see, I got up like I always do, still dark. I think it's like 6:30, 6:45. It's amazing. When I was younger, I sleep till 10 if I was off. Now I'm retired, but I'm older. I wake up sometimes before the sun rises. Anyway, I digress. I was going to talk today more nuts and bolts on investing, but then I watched a video by Millennial Mike talking kind of about his childhood and that sort of thing, and it led me to talk about this topic, and it's making excuses. Okay, because we all make excuses. Society makes excuses. The United States government makes excuses. Everyone has excuses. Everyone seems like points their finger at someone else. It's always the other person. You're guilty. Okay, but anyway, this is in regards to investing. Give me some position here. My back's tight today, like it is most times. And I was out pressure washing my pool deck today. And I won't show you, but me being me, I'm clumsy at times. I was doing the walkway outside my pool cage, and I ended up hitting the ground, and chunks of dirt were flying up. And it kind of surprised me because we do have creatures and critters here in Florida. And when it did, I kind of flinched back, I think, and the wand moved and went right across the kind of like the front side of my ankle, right above my foot, right? And it just took off the skin. It's like, ouch. So anyway, I won't show it to you. So anyway, where was I? And I'm just making excuses that I'm clumsy. I am clumsy. So, but I'm still alive. That's the main thing. So anyway, excuses. All of my life, it seems like I started investing when I was about 22 years old with mutual funds, okay? I didn't talk to a lot of people back then because I was much quieter and shyer than I am now. But I did mention it to a few people, and I had someone laugh at me one time about it, so that kind of shut me up for a while. About the time I got into police work, I found the Motley Fool, and I learned how to invest in stocks. And I invested through the dot-com crash, the great pull up the chart of the NASDAQ in particular. But the S&P 500, the Dow, everything just dropped. I invested through that. And then I've never stopped investing in stocks or investing since then. I plan to keep investing literally until the day I die. Hopefully that's decades away. So, but anyway, in police work, I started telling others, coworkers, about investing. And I got louder as the years went on when I started having success. And most of the time I was ignored. Other times it was always an excuse. Usually one of two things: time and money. I don't have time. I don't have enough money. Time and money. But yet, watching Millennial Mike's video this morning, I won't tell you his story, but just in a nutshell, he's one of a bunch of kids with 4 different fathers. He doesn't know his biological father. He said some other stuff. I won't go into details on what he said, but he said some other stuff. But he is now an investor. His net worth is climbing, okay? I have a different story. I was one of 5 kids, okay? I have a mom and I have a dad. And I'm not saying anything bad at all about my parents at all, okay? If you're a family member of mine, do not take this the wrong way, please. I'm not saying anything bad. My dad worked a lot, okay? He was a full-time firefighter, and when he was not working, he was normally volunteering at another firehouse. He had a painting business. He was doing other stuff. And part of that reason was he had 5 kids. And back then the moms didn't work, so he had to support his children, okay? I had a very religious mom. If my sister sees this, she'll disagree with me 100% because she loves my mom to death. I love my mom. My mom died back 20-some years ago. At the age I am now, roughly, she died from a terrible disease. Okay, but my mom, she liked me, but she didn't like me because I had my own way of doing things. And one of my way of doing things when I was about 12 or 13 was that I decided I was not going to go to church. And I can remember she got extremely upset with me. Extremely upset. She got my older brother to try to physically drag me out of the house. That just turned me against it completely. By that happening, she turned against me. My sisters don't know this. My younger brother probably doesn't know this. She turned against me in many ways. She was hard on me. And I'm not making excuses. But what I did back then, because I was a teenager by then, what I did was I left. I discovered partying. I went in that direction for many years. I went from being a top of the line student back then to barely passing my classes because I didn't care. I did not care. Okay. By getting that way, that was my excuse. I did not care. I did not care. I almost quit high school because I did not care. But I made it through high school. And I graduated when I was 17 years old. I was landscaping. I ended up joining the Navy when I was 19 because I realized I can't landscape forever. My back was hurting me at that age. And I couldn't keep digging holes forever. So I joined the Navy and I became an electronics technician. And I realized a light bulb went off in my head 2 times. One, when I took the ASVAB test, I had a score in the 90s. And it was obvious to me the military was just climbing all over themselves trying to get me in there because I had a high score. And that's how I got into an advanced electronics program. That's my daily mud water. So then, but anyway, once I got out of my electronics school, when I was in electronics school, I realized I had to study. And I studied for the first time in my life. And I realized, I got a brain. I can do this. And then when I got to my first duty station in the country of Panama, I started going to college. And I started going to college in Puerto Rico, and I got my bachelor's degree with a major in business and a minor in accounting and a GPA of 3.96, I think it was. And that was the same time my oldest son was born. So anyway, I'm digressing like I do at times. I'm rambling just a bit. But anyway, excuses. I could have made excuses all my life, but I didn't. I realized at a young age that once I got through my partying stage, I realized that I have to take care of myself. I've never asked anybody for anything. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I might have talked to my dad or something and say, hey, can I have some of those tomatoes you have or something, but I try not to ever ask for anything. I try to do everything myself. Okay, and I learned that in the Navy. I was independent in the Navy. It got me away from family. It got me away from friends. Now I'm down here in Florida where I literally almost didn't. I knew one person, but I pretty much don't know anybody here. So I'm just making my own way. Okay, that's how I do things. When I started buying real estate, I knew my realtor who sold me my house. When I started buying individual stocks, I'll back up a bit. I had the motley fool. I didn't know these people personally, but I read and learned how to invest in stocks. Okay, I could have made excuses that I didn't have the time because by then I had 2 kids. I was working full-time as a police officer, rotating shift work, 12-hour shifts, daytime, nighttime. And if you work a 12-hour straight night shift, it's hard. If you work daytime, 3 days later you work nighttime for 3 days, then you work daytime, then you work nighttime, then you work daytime, then you work nighttime. Do that for a couple years. Your brain gets scrambled. Is it daytime or is it nighttime? Okay, so I was doing that. Money was tight. My mortgage was 1 paycheck out of 2 when I was first hired as a cop. But I learned how to invest in individual stocks and how to have the time. I made the time. And this was with my boys. We got them involved in everything. We got them into music. My youngest got involved in music when he was like 1.5 years old. We got involved in swim classes. We got them involved in Kiwanis baseball. We had one involved in soccer. We had one involved in Cub Scouts. We had both involved in the theater. One was involved in wrestling, and then both became runners. They both graduated academically at the top of their class, athletically at the top of their chosen sport, musically high up at the top of their chosen instrument. Ethically, they both won awards, and they both had free rides to college, okay? That came from parental involvement from both mom and dad, and we were blessed with having good kids. So anyway, then along about 2016, I got in the idea of my head, I wanted to buy rental property. I knew of my real estate agent who owned rental property, so I got her to help me find one. And she helped me out, but she wasn't like my mentor, okay? She was just acting as a realtor to help me find a property, okay? And I bought my first, then I bought my second, then I bought my triplex without reading books, without looking at the Bigger Pockets website, without knowing what I was doing, but I had enough of an education from stock investing, and I know numbers. I knew what I had to do with rental property, and I struggled. My first one, cash. I took a bad tenant in, I had to evict her within 2 months. And she was a professional tenant. She hung on to the end. The deputies came out to give her 24 hours notice, and they addressed her by first name. They knew her. And even in 24 hours, it took her 23 hours to get out. Okay. She hung on to the very end. All right. But anyway, I started talking to more and more people, and it was rare that somebody would actually listen to my advice. And I would keep hearing these excuses. I don't have time for this. I don't have the money to invest. Even now with my YouTube channel, when I was out and about in my local community, I would hear, I don't have time. I work a full-time job. I don't have the money. I work in a restaurant. Time and money, that's always excuses. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what job you work. You can start investing. If you're not investing, you can start investing. And I will talk more on nuts and bolts of investing in future videos, but stop making excuses. Just don't make excuses. Look at Millennial Mike's channel. Look at my channel. I think he came from a rockier background, rockier childhood than I did, but we did it on our own. We didn't have someone handing stuff to us. We did it on our own. Okay, and he says at times I'm his mentor, but I'm not. He's a nice guy. He just says that about me. Yes, I helped him out just a bit, but I'm not his mentor. I don't mentor to anyone. I just try to help everyone. Okay, so anyway, don't make excuses, because if I can do it, if Millennial Mike can do it, if my buddy up in Virginia who's a deputy, if he can do it, if our whole mastermind group can do it, so can you. It's not that hard. It's not rocket science. And both of my boys are investing. It's not that hard, okay? So hang in there. Get it right up here, because you got to have your mind right to be a good investor, okay? You got to believe in yourself. You got to stay focused. You got to put in the effort. And I know time's tight, but you got to do it. You got to find the time, okay? When you get financially independent, you can be like me. You can kick back more. You can get a swimming pool. You can do your trifecta. You can watch Netflix if you so desire. You can read books if you so desire. I'm reading a John Grisham novel currently from the library. I didn't buy it. I got it from the library. And I used to keep track of books I read. And back in 2009, I think I read like 80 books. Some of them were young adult books. Maybe half of them were young adult books. But when you put your mind to something, you can do it. I think I told you in a prior video I wrote a novel. When you put your mind to something, you can do it. I'm going to write a book about my journey in investing. I haven't done it yet, but I know if I put my mind to it, I will do it. So for you, put your mind to investing. Okay? It's not that hard. And we'll talk more on how to do it. Some of my other videos, because I delete a whole bunch for a variety of reasons. But I'm going to rehash a lot of that information and add to it in future videos. Because remember, Mazske isn't a financial attorney. He's not a CPA. He's not an attorney. And what am I forgetting? He's not a CPA, not an attorney, not a financial advisor. But Mazke's here to try to help other people to learn, to help them to educate themselves. I'm not holding your hand. I'm not educating you. Take a spark, take a nugget from what I say, and educate yourself. Read books, watch YouTube channels, check out websites, okay? It's not that hard to invest. You got a plethora, I didn't say that right, you got a ton of information out there that's free. 25 years ago, this information wasn't there. It's there now. No one right now should have an excuse that they can't invest. No one. All you got to do is work a job. And I know there's people that don't work a job, but that's their problem. All you got to do is work a job and get a paycheck, spend less than you make, and invest the difference. It's not that hard, okay? All right, I'm going to end this today. I got to go to the pool store and do a couple other different things. But I will start getting it more into let's say the nuts and bolts of investing in the next week or two, maybe tomorrow. So we'll see. All right, Mazske is signing out. Stay safe.